here with God Creative duo. We're with Dan and Teddy. Great to chat to you. And
thanks for having us, lads. Big time.
Not at all. Thanks for having us. We're going to be doing a performance as well, which we'll be doing a video for separately. But just wanted to kind of start off asking you. I know you've got an album coming out soon, but before that, just to kind of get a bit of info on your thoughts on hip hop. From the first question I was going to throw at you was, do you think that it went through a real dark patch, say about 15 years ago, when around the time MTV started winding up, that it was kind of, you know, the same old kind of thing,
100%.
bling bling, cars, no message, but that's kind of making a bit of a comeback now, the last couple of years, with people like, say, Kendrick Lamar, Killer Mike and Colin Lingus.
100%, I agree. Yeah, I think there was a part where it fell off and it started to kind of detach itself from its roots.
Yeah.
And the roots would be the culture behind it.
Yeah.
Where it started, why it started, and how it started, from people coming together as community.
Yeah.
And, you know, like going out onto the streets and passing the mic around, and there was a very communal spirit there with the hip hop.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, now it's like they turned on each other. Now it's like who has more money, who has the bigger car. It's exactly what hip hop shouldn't be, really.
Yeah.
So that's what the mainstream does. It comes in like a big chainsaw and divides. You know?
Its peak was probably, you know, 80s kind of, and then early 90s with the East Coast, West Coast, and then that probably just slowly, like you said, that rivalry kind of poisoned the whole thing.
Definitely. Now, to be honest,
great albums out there, right? Rivalry albums out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to be honest, I was about to say that, man. We love the music that comes from all the rivalries and stuff like that. It's the evolution of the art, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's safe to say everything comes around in circles, man.
Yeah.
Everything comes around in circles. Music, like, it goes through all of different divides and changes.
Yeah.
Always comes back around to the roots.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. And I suppose the important thing that I wanted to express here with you guys is that it's come back around 360 now in Ireland.
Yeah.
I feel the vibe building up now. We're after breaking down a lot of barriers and finding our own identity.
Yeah.
And that's what we're working on, man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's what I was going to say to you next. That, like, say if you were doing something like you're doing now at the moment, or the last couple of years, back in the mid to late 90s, like, people would be like, what the hell, what's your man doing? Like, you know, you're only allowed to have like a 3 or 4 piece bands with drums and guitars. And, you know, hip hop was kind of, would have been totally out there, but now it's totally kind of normalised in a way.
Well, I
there's a lot of acts, you know.
I still think there's a bit of an attitude towards it over here, you know, like, and I've seen it a few times when I tell people what I'm working on, kind of like, you know,
we have a problem.
Funny look, like, then you play it for them, they're like, it's alright, you know.
We have a stigma on accepting our own sometimes.
There's
a big stigma around accepting our own, accepting the way we speak, the way we act.
Yeah.
Like look at Damien Dempsey. How long is he grinding out there before people go and fill up a show to watch? Exactly. He's grinding for 20 years. Neglected for 10 years. You know, before people start going, no, hold on. This guy is representing us. You know what I mean? So I think we're starting to make an impact now. Do you know what I mean?
And just and just even, I know you both you briefly touched on it there, what was, for people who don't really know, haven't heard your music yet, you know, God bless them, you know, but your own background when you were growing up, that's, you know, they will soon, but your own background growing up, what was your earliest memories of kind of getting into hip hop music? Like,
well, it's just on to you, man. This is the elder right here.
Yeah.
Put about a year or something. Fuck off. I'd say just coming out of my brother's room, he got mad into like NWA and then Ice Cube. You'd hear a bit of that coming out, and then eventually like Doggy Style and the Chronic and all that kind of stuff.
6 in the morning.
So I was just listening to whatever he was listening to kind of at the time, like I stopped when he moved on to Scooter.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking about makeup.
He was trying to be a hipster, but he listened to Scooter. I'll throw them all.
Yeah, I was the oldest in my house, and so that meant there was no one there to kind of look up to.
Yeah.
You know, to get the music off.
To find it all.
Yeah, because Dan got it off the brothers and so forth. But there was this show on back in. Around for a good couple of years, but it would have been mid-90s to like the 00s.
Yeah,
it's called Yo, it used to be on MTV.
Yeah,
Wednesday night for an hour, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock on a Wednesday night. And I was only 13, and I was begging the mother to stay up and watch that. Like, you know, I had some sort of infatuation with like just wanting to hear what was going on in America because it was pre-internet, everything like that. So I used to beg her to stay up, and we used to put this sticky tape over the VHS and record, you know, like 20 shows on a VHS. And that gets you through the whole week. That was my source of hip hop growing up. Do you know what I mean?
So if anyone blanked out, you'd feel like crying for a week.
Oh well, my mum was crying because I recorded over a bit of our wedding tape. I think it was our Titanic film. I'm sorry about that. It's all from music.
From Little Acorns.
Yeah.
And obviously you take, you know, I know obviously you enjoy the music or whatever, but it's something that, you know, you guys take very seriously. You kind of, there's definite progression and expansion in the sounds you're trying to bring into new recordings each time you do one. Like, you know, you have blues, kind of jazz guitars playing on some of the new stuff as well, and your recent stuff. And I'm just going to use a quote from your own website, if that's alright. You know, get it out there. He said that your art should always evolve in all facets, only then the door to other platforms start opening. So do you have a fear that you never want your last recording to sound like the next one?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think today you just need to have the utilities and the vocal versatility to actually, like, if you can sit on something and push the barrier, push forward in a different direction, I think do it, man. 100%. I think do it. Like, you know, there's no limits to it. Like, I mean, you know, you don't want to be stuck or trapped like in just a one format and all your albums sound the same. You know what I mean? Like, we're here to make people listen, and whether they like it or not, force a reaction. Force a reaction, you know.
And I mean, there's more and more, you know, Irish kind of acts doing hip hop as well. So there's a healthy competition there. If you keep kind of repeating it, the other guys will just race ahead.
Definitely.
You know?
And I think at this stage it's about setting trends now. Because, you know, it's the birth of something new now. So what it's about now is get on our own identities, fuse our vibes together, make a product and represent that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which is setting the trend down for other people to come through and take a piece of that and push it in their own direction. You know? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I don't know about setting trends, like, but yeah, I don't really consider, like, when I'm making the music for the album, like, and that's going on in Ireland, like hip hop wise, I wouldn't like really, it wouldn't be on my mind. You know what I mean? I don't want to do what any of them are doing, and as much as I respect all those guys, they're fucking breaking down their own barriers and doing great work as well, but.
You want to
just do something a little bit different to what they're doing.
And I suppose you want what you're making and creating to stand alone.
Which is setting the trend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
and just in terms of what's coming up now for God Creative, you had the first Soundwave EP was out recently.
Soundwave Legacy, Volume 1,
And that was out not so long ago.
Yeah, November we dropped that.
And now, so you've got on the 4th of March, you got the Godzilla single coming out.
Yeah, so just so you're clear, like, Dan is going under the Crimes Against will be his producer name. He's going to produce the whole album. He has some features on it singing as well. I'm emceeing the whole thing. And that's our project. And Godzilla is out on the 4th, which is the intro to the album. To give everyone a kind of despite their curiosity basically about it, a little taste.
Wet the lips.
Yeah, wet the lips. Yeah, for sure, man.
And then the album will be out then shortly after that.
Well, probably I'd say a couple more singles. I'd say after before, like, probably drip out a couple more singles over the next couple of months. Like, it's just because we want to kind of take our time with it to the point of just have a lot of songs to pick from as opposed to the first 10
Yeah.
that finished or whatever, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not in a rush to kind of just go.
Yeah, definitely this year, but like definitely just want to take our time and make it as good as we can. Like, kind of.
Would you have many kind of people working on that outside of to yourselves in terms of musicians or other artists, or not really?
Not really.
No.
Kind of producing the music and playing.
I think we want it that way.
Yeah.
Because well, not to go back to setting a trend, but like we'll walk away from that idea and say we're trying to do something unique between both of us.
Exactly.
Dan's gonna go off, make different beats and veer away from the norm. I'm gonna put a vocal twist on them and perform, and it will be its own thing. So there won't be that much features, and we're gonna keep it nice and clean.
Excellent. And where can people find your tunes that exist to date and Godzilla when it comes out?
Well, that's a good question, because there's not a lot out there right now. They can go onto iTunes or any online store and pick up Soundwave Legacy Volume 1, which is basically my side project, the whole band.
Okay.
We're supporting Damien Dempsey on the 7th and 8th of April in Drogheda in Belfast.
Okay.
As for me and Dan's stuff, this is the first piece of material now we're releasing.
Right.
On the 4th.
Yeah.
So you get that everywhere, Spotify, iTunes, all the
100%. I'll get it.
Websites.
And that you probably have links now from the God Creative website, godcreative.com.
Yeah, god-creative.com,
Yeah.
which is like a minus sign in between. It was the difference between, I said it before, it was the difference between like a 20 grand name and like a €20 a year name.
And then you should have spent 20 grand.
God, minus sign.
You got a lot of money from the album before you get it. And you could have a lot of religious people.
The credit
website looking for something different.
For sure.
You might have given them a fright, you know.
Oh yeah.
Well listen lads, thanks very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank
you very much.
Great stuff.
Sound feed, thank you boys.
Thanks, cheers.
Cheers.